This is an interview with Kevin Finnerty. Kevin has been a man that has inspired me as a dad. His youngest is getting married very soon, so we're talking to someone who has been through all of the motions of raising their child, sending them through high school and college, and now seeing both of his daughters off to be married. So hopefully he gives us some good input today through this interview on how to help our kids to make good decisions. Now I am here with Kevin. Kevin is one of my special dads. So I was just thinking about it before I got on the call. I think one of the first parties that I went to was your 40th birthday party. So I'm actually 40 years old now, but I just remember being in your house and people sharing about you and how great you are, and especially what a great dad you are. I'm like, that's the Kevin that I know. And your daughters ended up being the flower girls in our wedding, and now your youngest is getting married next month. You again, you can, I know you could share forever. They were born. One was born in Zimbabwe. One was born in the Bronx. One's getting married to someone from Korea. The other one's in Bahamas right now. So you got a lot of information to give us. And I remember they gave us advice too when you were doing marriage counseling. They actually helped my wife just get her career. So you obviously raised two great girls that can help us to make great decisions. So how did you do that? How can you help us? Like I had Damien on the call, one of your students from high school. He's a dad. His oldest son is about to be 20 years old. So you've been around the
Wow.
block, Kevin. You've helped a lot of people. So just share to the dads, like, how do you help your girls make some good decisions?
Well, appreciate the opportunity, and I hope this is encouraging and helpful. And I think for our kids, our girls, first and foremost, they saw that we were really wholehearted about whatever we did, and that we loved the things that we were doing, that we had great excitement about our careers as educators. We liked the lifestyle and the challenges. They saw that we really strove to do a great job with it. They knew our stories of faith and adventure. When we first got married, we up and moved to Africa to help out a church there and to work as educators there and support ourselves. And we just really saw God's hand working in our lives. And that's definitely a theme that we really trust that God's hand is working. And we pray a lot about things and just really try to see his hand in our lives. They know we trusted God. We went through some very humble times in our lives early on in our marriage, and basically made some great sacrifices for various dreams of ours. But God used us in some great ways. So we would encourage them to follow their dreams. We would really uh, help them with the things that they found that they wanted to do. Like when Paul thought she wanted to be a speech therapist and a child psychologist. She she shadowed those professionals. She took time off from school to shadow them, and even uh, got to see what their life was like. And when Caitlin wanted to be a veterinarian, we helped her to get a position in a vet's office where she got to work with the vet and with the dogs and really help them figure out their dreams. And even if it was musically with McCall and her singing, just really helping her to grow in that area, getting her music lessons. Caitlin with sports. They both had things that were their passions, and we encouraged them. We helped them to explore them. But we also talked about boundaries. Even with the college experience, laying out their dreams versus what it could cost to achieve their dreams, and talking about the consequences of starting off with a certain amount of debt. So both of them chose schools that were really good schools, but left them basically debt free. And that was important because we know that as as adults, that debt is an anchor often, and it's a. Sometimes I look at my friends. Oh, they're paying for a condominium. My phone just fell when I picked it back up. They're paying for a condominium they're not living in.
Yeah.
Well, even with our own desires to have a home, our first home we purchased was one that we knew we could afford. We weren't going to be house poor. So we talked about them doing doable and affordable dreams. We pray a lot with them to make things clear throughout middle school and high school with their different decisions about careers and education and things of that nature. We'd pray just about every morning, and just really that God would open the right doors for them. We were very supportive because sometimes when they go away to college, it's hard and it's challenging, and there needs to be times where we kind of dropped everything and went and took care of them, so that they got help and support from their parents, so that they knew we were still there for them, and that we wasn't just sink or swim on their own, but that we were there to support them. And there were just times that they needed that, because the transition to that college life can be very hard, in terms of social aspects, academic aspects, spiritual aspects. And we just really wanted to be able to be there and support them. I feel like we've encouraged them to be women who are willing to dream, women who really appreciate the world around them, and are very open-minded to everything that they can be a part of. And McCall's heart for the poor. She's just done so many things to serve the poor, and even helping to start a charity in Haiti. And Caitlin and her similar passions. She's gone to South America several times to help serve in hospitals there, and creating opportunities for them to be able to do those things, and take chances to serve the poor, become sensitive to the needs of people around them. I think they're both very much driven by that. That's McCall's career right now, is to help advocate for victims of abuse. And Caitlin wants to be a nurse. Her heart is to care for people and to provide care for them. And both of our McCall's husband and Caitlin's fiance are both men of great passion and great compassion. So I think they both are driven to look for people like that, and trusting that God will open the doors in those areas of their lives too. So I hope that is something that's meaningful. I don't know if you have any follow-up you would want to ask James or anything like that.
No, that's awesome. I like those two words, and I think we always say that to the girls. I had a lot of fathers of girl parents, females, and they said, I need to be that example of what I want their husband to be. And I think that's who you are. You're definitely a man of passion. Like you've had hard conversations with me, but you are also very compassionate with so many other people. Like, I feel like you're a man, like Paul says, you can kind of talk with anyone. Like, it doesn't matter if they're rich, if they're poor, if they're white, or they're black. Like, you look at people as people. And I think you looked at your girl, if you want to just close out with that, because you got some parents who, their kids are grown, and you're about to be an empty nester soon. And then just something real quick,
Yep.
to those who have their kids in the house. Like, how do you talk to the little kids and just guide them along the way? Just real quick for both age groups.
Well, I think with making sure to enjoy them and have fun with them, but also teach them about respect as well as enjoyment, and really making sure that they know you care. Like, we would definitely prioritize meal times with them every day. Like I said, all throughout school, I prayed with them every morning. I mean, and they were like, Dad, it's too early. I said, it's my dadly right. We're going to pray together every single morning before you start your day. And we would talk about their day. So I know what their day was. They know what my day was. It wasn't long, but it was every day. Yeah. And it was definitely an important part. And them seeing us being passionate about the way we serve in the church, and the way we care about the brothers and sisters in church, and the way we want to help out people who want to know more about God. All of these things factor into the respect and the value that they ascribe to what they see as our relationship with God, and they see God's hand in our lives, and they in turn have put their trust in Him as well. Yeah, that's an important thing. I have a great solace in that, and great satisfaction out of that. So.
Yeah, and I think, again, that's who you are. You're a man that your daughters know that, again, even being out of the house, they can rely on you. There's so many words that I can use to describe you, and I think, yeah, just we have to be that man who our kids can follow in our footsteps. I'm thinking about that too. Like, I'm living in your dad's house. I'm in the attic right now, and need to work on this house. And hopefully, again, that people will ask some more questions, and hopefully you can come back on again. You're full of advice. You're full of wisdom, and again, you're the man who just walks the walk, not just talks the talk. And that's kind of what we're doing with this whole series, just to have fathers of faith, that there's plenty of positive influences out there. You've definitely been that influence in my life, and obviously you've been that influence in your daughter's life. And then hopefully, again, people will be able to reach out and just get that advice. And then we change the narrative of what it means to be a dad in New York, in the Bronx, just in this world right now. So thank you, Kevin. I appreciate it, man. You're an amazing guy. Happy Father's Day. And yeah.
Thanks for dreaming like this and putting something like this together. I think that's great.
Cool.